It is the Ryan Kevin Morning Show with Wanda Smith, People Station V103. And Friday, we sent out a letter to all of our candidates, asking them to come in and talk to our audience.
That's right.
You know, 1 million listeners a week. And we heard back from most of them. Some said they couldn't come in, but some did come in. And one of the ones who said, oh, yeah, I'll put it on my calendar is, of course, Jason Carter.
I know.
And he is here. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. And so does our audience.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, man, let me tell you, y'all obviously are having a good time. It's not just because of me, because you have a good time every morning.
We have a good time every morning. That is true.
He's touching me, Ryan.
Hey, watch out now. He's running for office. Let's start off, you know, basically with the first
And my
question.
wife listens to V103, too, so.
Yeah. Don't run. He's running for office one. Don't, you know, come on. It'll be a campaign ad tomorrow. What are the top 3 issues that are affecting most of our Georgia families, Jason?
I'll tell you the top issue that I hear about when I travel this state, it's education. Folks want to be sure that their kids and their grandkids and, frankly, themselves are getting the skills that they need to compete in a global economy. And you've watched one of the worst education records in the history of our state over the last several years, and we've got to do a better job for our kids and our schools.
Now, that seems to be, I watched the debate. And, Governor Deal said he increased by $750 million, and then you said something on the opposite side. What is the truth?
Here's the truth. Right now, we have a total shell game with respect to the education budget in our state. And the truth is this. Walk into a school. Everybody knows that our school system is being underfunded. Under Governor Deal's plan, not only do we have 9,000 fewer teachers, we have 2/3 of our school districts that cut days. So there's just less educating going on. And 91 school districts raised your property taxes. So you've got less education going on and higher taxes. That's not what anybody wants, and that's just because the state government's not doing their job.
Now, of course, Georgia leads the country in unemployment. If elected, what can you do in Washington to bring more and better paying jobs to Georgia?
Well, I'll tell you, number one, it's embarrassing. I mean, when you look out at this community, even just from this studio, y'all can see the giant potential of this state. We have every ingredient that we need to be an absolute powerhouse. Educational institutions, cultural institutions, the airport, which gives global access, the Savannah port. There's so much economic potential here, and we're dead last in unemployment. It makes no sense. We're dead last in terms of how fast we're recovering from the recession. That means, y'all, every other state is doing a better job. We have no business at the bottom. So what we've got to do is, again, invest in education because that's economic development. We've got to make sure we take care of small businesses. And we've been touring this state talking to small business people, and they're just left out right now. They're just left out.
There's more than 600,000 people with no health care. Georgia's opted out of the Affordable Care Act. How do we expand Medicaid to cover those people, those Georgians?
That decision by the governor to refuse the money, $30 billion of our money is in Washington, D.C., and the federal government has it, and the government the governor wants them to keep it. That doesn't make moral sense because there's 600,000 people that are not getting health care, and it doesn't make economic sense because that $30 billion would create 35,000 jobs. It would shore up the budgets of all these rural hospitals. You get outside Atlanta, as you know, you've got 5 rural hospitals that have already closed and 16 more that are on the brink of bankruptcy. We have to make sure that we're making good decisions for our people instead of making them based on politics. So we can bring that money in. We can use it to give people health care. And if you think about the economic impact and the boon to our state that would be, and then you just think about those human beings out there that are not getting health insurance, and we pay for them anyway because they show up in the emergency room. So we've got to do better than that, and we can. And a good governor, I can do that.
Are you in favor of raising the minimum wage, and if so, do you have a rate in mind?
I think that at the federal level, the answer is yes. I think it's important to do that at the federal level. But here in Georgia, it's more complicated because you've got state-by-state competition that's going on. What I think we have to do in this state is make sure that we're getting higher wage jobs. What that means is that we've got to be developing, number one, again, skills. There are jobs out there. We just got to make sure people are getting into college, getting into technical school, and getting those skills. And right now in this state, the cost of college is rising faster than in any other state but one. That's another way in which Georgia's at the bottom, in my view, unacceptable. And so But once we start building those higher wage jobs, attracting them, that's got to be the goal, getting people in higher jobs, because right now the middle class is falling behind. Everybody out there knows you're getting less and less and having to do more and more with it. One statistic, the average family in this state makes $6,500 less than 10 years ago. I mean, that's a real pay cut, even for y'all that make all the big bucks around here, man.
We got 30 seconds here, Jason. What is the biggest difference between you and the other candidates?
I think the biggest difference is I'm out here in the real world. They're talking about magazine articles that say we're a good place to do business, but regular folks are not feeling it. And I will look for answers every single day, and I will put education and the middle class as my first priorities. And I'll be sure we've got an honest government. And right now, we're not getting any of that. And I just hope that folks feel the energy out there that we feel, because there have been a ton of folks at the polls all across the state already. And it feels good. There's a new day coming, and it's really exciting for all of us.
There you go. Jason Carter running for governor.
All
of course,
right.
Voting continues early until Friday, October 31st, but then you can also go to the polls on Tuesday. He answered our letter. He came in the studio, and he talked to the people of the city. Atlanta's #1, man. People Station V103. Thank you very much, Jason.
Hey, thank y'all very much. God bless you.